I'm so sorry to see that Tom Scott has retired from YouTube. He's going the same way as Zoe Sugg and PewDiePie. Uh, and so pulling back, and now he's actually saying that he's not going to make any more videos. And his reasoning is, I think, very interesting. Number one, he's concerned about the rise of AI, where AI can literally generate YouTube videos without any effort or input from the creator. That's certainly not how I would want to go, and it's certainly not how he wants to go. The second option that he pointed out was that he could have been employing people to do the creation for him, and he would then be reduced to being a manager. He said that's not for him. It's certainly not for me either. I wouldn't be interested in that. And it's exhausting, he says. He's just tired out of this constant drive to keep producing more content. And the comments which come in are so often so abusive, even from people who seem to be supportive. There seems to be this desire in the comments section to prove that they know you better by finding fault. And I don't know about Tom Scott. I certainly do other things during the day. I teach. Most of the Christmas period I was teaching between 5 and 6 hours a day. And I make films, and I have my own artwork and animation that I'm working on. And then, there are times when you just simply want to switch off and watch something on the telly. I do. I then fall asleep. But this constant pressure to keep feeding the beast. And Instagram is another one. Instagram, I don't understand the purpose of Instagram or TikTok. I've never managed to monetize either. And again, it's like feeding the beast. And it seems like just a few minutes that you've got to spend, but rather like when you're waiting for a lesson to begin, or you're waiting to go on stage, which is what I did last Christmas, and I was still doing my YouTube stuff at the same time. And you just think there's a point where you're waiting and you think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this in this anxiety? And I took the view that I wouldn't edit, and that if I made a mistake, I would just live with that. If I and my way through it, I would live with that as well. And it's better to have the unedited, fresh version of the ideas rather than to have something which is so polished. A, I've spent the entire day doing it, and B, it's lost any focus. And so I apologize if I've got ums and ahs going around the place. I liked PewDiePie. And I remember there is a YouTube video somewhere. I drew pictures of PewDiePie, and I wrote a letter to PewDiePie. I thought he was a very engaging individual. And certainly when he was living in Brighton, I was very tempted to go and see him. But now he's gone off somewhere else. And so that's beyond my budget. And I thought it's so interesting how somebody can eke out that formula. And when I've talked to people who are really focused on their YouTube content, and I realize, what you see on the YouTube is not quite what you get in reality. And in order to get that YouTube business growing, often people are putting out a much darker image of themselves than they need to. And I thought, I don't want to do that. And I was given a lot of advice saying that, your channel is unpredictable, you don't know what you're going to get. Well, I think I know what you're going to get. You're going to get the thoughts that pop up because of the news. You're going to get a few bits of poetry and academic asides. You're going to get some animation and bits and pieces that I've been working on, and you get the byproduct. Sometimes you get the real thing. Sometimes I'm very taken with the idea of political satire and with the idea of mixing reality with political cartoons. And so when I think there's an opportunity for me to sit on a park bench and natter away to a cartoon of Suella Braverman or Priti Patel, or I've got one in my mind about Putin, which will turn up at some point, then I think yes, you spend a little bit of time getting that right. But it's basically a day's work, or lip syncing something. That is a lot of effort. But you're trying to change the medium and to push forward, and it's an unforgiving platform in many ways. And I can understand why Zoe Sugg and Tom Scott might have given up. I think it's a platform which has a lot of potential, and I think particularly that potential is in encouraging the comment section. And here we have a form of democratic interplay. And I take the view, frankly, for the most part, that if somebody says something horrible, they don't really mean it. And when they think again, they might have paused before pressing the send. But if I don't pause, why should they? We grow together, and in time, the videos get better and the comments get nicer. And we can only cross our fingers and hope that YouTube has got the good sense to keep this process going. But the algorithm of YouTube is perverse. And sometimes you think, oh my goodness, I got more views this last month than I did the previous month. It has no effect. It's completely irrelevant, and it's a very strange tool. But it's not going to make me give up. Like Lawrence Fox, I am defiant, and but I do look forward to any sort of encouragement and any sort of suggestions. Please keep them coming.